My name is SiR. I'm from Ingelwood, California, and I am a singer-songwriter. I think being a mix engineer just changes the way I create in general. So I've learned to take off one hat and put on another. So when I'm writing and recording, you know, I'm focused on that. I'm trying to make the song as dope as possible. When I'm mixing, I take time away from listening to the music. And then when I come back to mix, I'm not mixing it for, you know, the vocal or the lyric or anything like that. I'm really trying to be as technically sound as possible. I don't know how to like not hate songs. If I've heard a song too many times, I'm gonna hate it. And that's not just mine. That's with any music, I feel like. When you burn things into the ground, like I can't listen to, what album was that? It Ain't Safe No More. The Busta Rhymes album? I can't listen to it anymore. I burned it into the ground. It's over. I'll never play it again. So I feel like I've only reached that limit with certain songs, but it's because when it comes to my music, some songs, you know, I put more work into them than not. So sometimes I just get burnt out, you know, but you know, usually I'll step away and come back and it'll feel different, you know, if it's a good song. The person that gave me the MPC, that was my Uncle Andrew. My fondest memory about like growing up in a musical family and just music in general was singing next to my brothers. When we were younger, my mother used to always push us to sing in church. I just remember being in church at like 5 years old, standing there with a microphone next to my two brothers, and we're singing. We're like little kids, and everybody at the church had that look on their face like, that's super, you know what I mean? We're so cute, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, singing with my brothers in church, that's probably my most fond memory. So I was at home in Ingelwood at the time, and the label that I had released my latest project through was a label called Fresh Selects. And basically Kenny called me and told me that Dave Free, at the time, who was my manager that got me introduced to Top Dawg, was in Santa Monica, and he said we should come down and meet. So I drove from my house in Ingelwood to Santa Monica, and the first person that I met was J-Rock. And when I met him, first thing he said to me was, "Nigga, we cousins," which I thought was hilarious, and I still laugh at that to this day. But it's true, we are cousins through marriage, and that was just the best introduction. I got introduced as family, and it's never felt like anything but family, so. Recorded a song, it ended up, it's called The Ways. She gon' pop bottles, that's for sure. She roll up, that's for sure. Love riding high, getting low, that's for sure. No matter where we go. It was like, it probably took us like 30, 45 minutes to get that all done. And then that ended up being a music video. But that was a crazy day, man. Like that whole day was just, that's something that sits in my head, and I'll never forget that, man. And I'm super appreciative to like J-Rock for doing that, you know, going above and beyond. He didn't have to do that, you know what I mean? And I was just blessed to be at the right place at the right time. Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that happens with most artists that have people that care, you know, and I think, you know, I always say that I'm thankful to my team because they don't really like care about my feelings. It's all about the product. So I feel like they weren't ready, you know what I mean? They just weren't ready. And sometimes that's a tough pill to swallow for a creative, you know what I mean? Like, I hate hearing that it's not good enough, or, you know what I mean? It's not what we need, or it's this or it's that, but, you know, it is what it is, and it's all about how you respond. I think anytime somebody asks or tells me something's wrong, the first thing I do is ask why. You know, because I don't, you know, the problem is there, obviously. It's not what you like, it's not, you know, we're not on the same page. So why don't you like it, or what do you want me to do to make it better? I never really stopped working towards the goal. Even when I got the no's, I was like, I need to keep going. So I'm happy about that. I'm not even tripping now that I've got a product that has done so well and like has gotten the response that it's gotten. I can't complain. And that's a lesson learned for me. Trust, team. I can't do it by myself. Let's say I was like a label head, or let's say I was just an independent artist. I'd have 12 albums out right now. Everyone would hear every song that I liked. And I don't know if that's really healthy for growth when you're just giving, and giving away everything isn't like, it's not wise for any musician, you know what I mean? You should be tactical about how you present your art, you know what I mean? Until people trust you enough to just take whatever you got to give them. I feel like my team has kind of helped me a lot in just, you know, being patient, being tactful about how we do things, you know what I mean? And being vigilant about just, you know, letting people into our circle and you know, taking advice with a grain of salt. Because if we like it and we're all on the same page in my squad, it's tight. That's all that matters. So we don't need too many more people coming in trying to give advice. And that was unintentional. I think the biggest thing that I take about that Hair Down video that I love the most is that they shot that on the street that I grew up in. So, I mean, as far as the Cadillac, the car, nah, that was just a car we chose, man. And we took the wheels off that thing too, so. Shout out to Big Crit, man. That was one of the first cats that I reached out to, and he just blessed me without asking for anything in return, you know, so. Like, that song is special to me. It's one of the first songs I dropped through TDE. People didn't even know I was signed to TDE when we dropped that song. Shout out to Chris, shout out to that whole situation, man. Definitely a labor of love there, and that's one of my favorite songs. I'm glad you brought that song up. It's cool. My summer right now, I'm living it, man. It's being at the height of whatever you're at and being, you know what I mean, having the freedom to do what you want. That's what freedom is all, or that's what summer is to me, is freedom. You know, it just represents freedom and being able to make choices on your own and do things that you want. Yeah, I'm living my freedom, man. I'm living my summer. I don't wake up at, you know, 7 a.m. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I pretty much do what I want, you know? And I earn that, you know? And in this album, it's a little different than my regular life. It's more of a story about somebody that's chasing something that he already has, you know, and ends up going from one place back to, you know, the starting point, which is home for him, you know. So I think we did a great job of just taking people on the journey, you know what I mean? The same kind of journey I was on when I was creating the album. I can tell you it's not rest. What's up next for SiR? Tour, December, and hopefully coming back and touring in Europe in February or March or beginning of the year at some point.